We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity podcast for the Virtual Coffee Connection. And let's dive right in. Amy, what would you like to accomplish today?
Getting unstuck when you've had great momentum and then you just aren't pushing through anymore. Kind of like the what's the next step? Like I have my goals here, and some of these now I'm waiting on other people, but I'm stuck because I'm also waiting on other people, so I'm not sure where to start next.
Right. Um, so do you remember a week or a few weeks ago when I said that I sucked at building teams?
Yes,
Um, do you know what the advantage of that is?
you get to do it yourself on your timeline.
What do you mean?
So you're not delegating anything out, you're just handling it from a team's perspective.
I think the advantage is knowing you suck in building teams is that, well, now that I know I suck, I can fix it.
Yes.
So I think a lot of people think they're good at building teams. They're not.
Well, so these are vendors. So how do you push vendors forward?
It's leverage. So
Okay.
Nora just finished up a course that Tom Kuntz and Peter Miles and I taught on leverage. It's the magical arts of positive motivation and manipulation. So most people think of motivation as positive and manipulation as bad, but you can motivate people to do bad things or manipulate people to do good things. So often we're in our language, we're not real tight in what it is. So it's leverage. Um, I was sharing in the Top Gun training. Man, that thing is crazy. Holy cow. I've never been part of anything like that before. It's insane. Anyways, I was sharing years ago. Um, so I've vacillated between building my own, having my own programming team and using off the shelf software. And I hate off the shelf software, hate it. And I hate having a programming team, but I have to have software to achieve my life vision. So we went ahead and went with Goldmine software. Um, and they're a South African company, and I'm telling you, they were so far ahead of their time. It was insane. I mean, it was absolutely insane. And so I knew because I'd had my own programmers. So the thing I love about my own programmers is that, if you want something fixed, you fix it. You want something built, you build it. With off the shelf software, you can't even talk to anybody often. So I went ahead and I figured out how to talk to the president of Goldmine. And I said, "Hey, what would it take for us to be your number one client?"
Hmm.
And he says, "To refer us $1 million in business." I said, "Done. I'm working on that." And so a vendor, he's a vendor.
Yeah.
We're not paying him a lot of money. I mean, that was before software was even a subscription base. Like you pay, I don't know, a couple $100 per seat or whatever back in the good old days. Um, and so he gave me um, the vice president of programming, Natalie Burdick. He gave me her name and number. And she and I would talk periodically. Like, you never get access to programmers. Like, you just don't. It's a cardinal rule. Don't ever give your customers access to your programmers. And I got the vice president and I called her once. I said, "Natalie," I said, "Hey, there's this feature in Goldmine." And she's like, and that was back when you released, you know, updates. Like you had to have a floppy drive that you went in, you know. And I said, "This feature and you guys, it's not designed well, Natalie." And she's like, she laughs and she says, "Yeah, I know." I said, I said, it, I explained to her, I said, "If you guys just coded it this way and this way and this way, it wouldn't take much. Like it wouldn't take much to go ahead and make this thing hum. I mean, You guys are limiting your software like crazy. And she laughed and she said, yeah, I know. I said, so are you guys going to fix this? She's like, well, Mark, the only problem is you're the only customer in the world, literally. You're the only customer in the world that said anything about this. I'm like, do you know why that is, Natalie? And she laughed. She said, no, why is that, Mark? I said, because I'm your best customer. Like, girl, like this thing, it's not that hard. Fix it, please. And you know what happened? On the next release, she actually fixed it.
That's
That never
awesome.
happens.
And it's just asking, I need to be the squeaky wheel, don't I?
Well, it's both. It's the combination. It's the combination. I'm attending a new church. It's called the PB Church. It's the Paul Barnabas Church. It's different than any other church I've ever. You don't have to give up going to your current church to go to this church. But Paul and Barnabas is interesting story. Like, right, Paul, good cop, bad cop. So
Yep.
Paul's the bad cop, Barnabas the good cop, and the combination between both of them helped John Mark actually be an amazing person. So it's almost like you got to be bipolar, you know.
All
You
right.
know, you
Yeah,
do.
thank
And
you.
so, yeah, you do. You have to go ahead and be super nice and super mean. And so, I like to go ahead when we talk personalities. I like to go ahead. Is this Harley that's joined us?
Yeah, I just joined now.
Yeah, that's crazy that I recognize your phone number. You must be somebody very special. Harley, I'd like to introduce you to Amy. Amy, this is Harley. Harley's a fascinating guy. He's Amish and he's got a couple businesses going and he's a new Action Vision client and just doing spectacular. Actually, he had this same situation, same exact situation. He went ahead and so one of the businesses he owns is a farm, you know, and so he needs to put a new building up for shop and other types of things. And he has a surveyor that's in English. I don't know if you know what English is, Amy, before I was in the Amish. Essentially, with groups of people like Jews, there's Jews and non-Jews, right?
Right, right,
Yeah. Amish, there's Amish and English. So if you're not Amish, you're English, which is everybody else in the world. So
right.
I'm like, I'm English? I thought I was American. Nope, you're English. Okay.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so I asked him. So he went ahead and called. He called me up. He said, I don't know, a month or so ago. He said, Mark, this surveyor's not, he's not responding to me. I said, okay. He says, can you fix that? It's part of Action Vision. Sure. so so I call the dude up, leave a message. Never even talk to the guy. Leave a message. Hey, I'm the executive coach for Harley, and this is really important for his economic engine. And so I just left a message. Bam! He was on in a heartbeat. Harley's like, dang, that's crazy. Like, wow. He didn't say dang. He just said, that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I don't know, went a couple weeks and then, he called me, I don't know, a day or so ago. And he said, hey, Mark, he's not responding again. Like, he's not doing what he said he's going to do. I'm like, really? So then I text him with Elaine. And I said, hey, Harley says that you're not responding. And and that's an issue. Like, Elaine, can you make sure I don't have to deal with this again? And bam, he was on it again. So the challenge is people think the Amish are nice. I'm not saying they're not, but they don't go ahead and have the driver personality. What
Right.
I do with vendors is first off is I'm amiable. Like, I want to be your best customer. And I will. Like like I'm gonna be your best customer. What's it gonna take to be? I'll just ask them straight up like I did the president. They're a South African company. I'm calling somebody from South Africa saying, hey, I want to be your best customer. What's it going to take? He told me. And we referred them so much business, it was insane. But they didn't listen to us. And so we eventually went off their system. And then they got just trounced by Salesforce. So, hey, you got to listen
Right.
to your customers. Like, I'm a customer.
Well, and thank you. I think that's exactly right. Be the nice, be the amiable first, and then move on. And I'm actually going on to my second trademark attorney tomorrow because my other one had to cancel last week, and that put
Oh,
me another week
don't
behind.
even get me going on attorneys. Like you, yeah, yeah. So yeah, oh, yeah, oh,
Okay. Thank you, Mark. Duly noted. I'm going to implement that and get back on this because some of those, as you know, these are my goals, and some of it includes my attorneys and vendors.
right.
So,
You got it right.
ugh,
So, so here, what I do, Amy, is I do amiable. I lead with the amiable, super nice. People love me. It's so funny. Like we have a new client in Alaska. This guy's, I wish he could be on this one, but it's, I don't know, 4 hours difference or something. So he's
I think
probably
it's
not going to get
6.
up to Tuesday. Yeah.
I
So,
trained
but
someone in Africa once. Yeah.
oh my, so he's in Alaska and he's funny. He's like, Thor and I are talking to him Tuesday. He's like, Mark, I want to come to your place. I want to eat dinner with you and your family. Do you, my kids? Do you? Like, I don't know. Anyways, so you lead with the amiable, then you go to the analytic. And so this is frequency. There's low frequency and high frequency. It's not total personality, but it's very heavy personality. And then you go ahead, and so this is the lowest frequency, like a radio wave. This is like a gamma ray. So you have radio waves. So you lead with the amiable, then you go ahead and go next with the analytic, kind of explain to them a little more firm, not quite as friendly. Like then you go to the expressive. And then you go ahead and leave some heat. So I had a message for this guy. If I have to call him a third time, I know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, you think Amish are nice, and they are, but you got to have integrity, because if they don't, they talk to everybody in the world. Harley's super connected. Like I'm telling you, you don't go ahead, you don't go ahead and treat him well. That's not going to go well for you in the Amish community. Plus, he's a friend of mine and a client. Like
Mhm.
you do not want to not have integrity working with me. You just don't. It's not going to work out well. And the expressive, you kind of joke with them, but you're harder. You're like,
Yeah.
you're harder. And then the driver doesn't care. They'll just you smoke a hole in the ground. Like my wife's got this down finally ish. Like she's super nice to vendors. We're the customer.
I know. Well, and as you know, I'm an expressive driver, but I feel like with other people, I'm more amiable because I'm also a referral-based business. So it's hard for me to bring my driver out when I'm dealing with other people that could possibly also be a referral source at some point. So I need to work on that. That's an Amy issue.
Well, it's a bipolar, quad, or quinpolar. Quinpolar is you have all of these and you can shift in an instant. It's funny when my kids go ahead, somebody meets my kids, like we have an event. You guys are invited to come out. I think it's in May. Um, Last year we had, I don't know, 115 people, over 100 people come out. This year, my guess is it's going to be 250. I mean, it's just crazy. And so some of the people that I play pickleball with, they go ahead and talk to my youngest daughter who lives out in Denver. She's an expressive driver, analytic. She's an interesting character. Anyways, and yeah, and they came up to me and they say, Mark, you don't say anything on the pickleball court. You're really quiet. I mean, you're a killer pickleball player, but you don't say anything. You're just quiet. Talking to your daughter, she says that's not at all who you are. So the driver, so a lot of times you may do it or you may get somebody else to do it. You can delegate that. Like Harley, he delegated it to me. I don't have a problem. It's like, you know what? Do what you say what you do, have integrity. And so, but yeah, so I would lead with, hey, I want to be the best, best in the world. It's like they have to, sadly, Amy, with most people, they have to fear you. It just sucks, but it is what it is. So it's like, do the right thing because it's the right thing. Just do it. If that's not enough motivation, do the right thing, because I don't know, we're friends and I don't
Yeah.
know. Can you do that? And if that's not enough motivation, do the right thing because I'll bury you. I will absolutely bury your butt. Like, so anyways, so good question. Harley, what would you like to accomplish today? Are you
Oh, I
there?
don't know. There's different. Yes,
Go
I'm
ahead.
still here.
Yep.
I'm trying to think.
So Harley was on the Tuesday, on the Tuesday podcast too, and he had prioritization. So how do you prioritize things? And so Harley, you can ask that 10, 15 times and you'll get a different answer from me. Hopefully I'll remember the last 10 things I told you and then tell you something else. Oh, you guys, if you go to Voices of Integrity podcast and then you go to the table of contents, I'm sure you'll remember this. And then here you have the flipbook library. So this flipbook library is, this flipbook library is pretty fascinating. And so here is the pickleball. Here's the pickleball one that my wife and I went ahead and are writing together. And so people who are in pickleball, it's like they're in a cult. It's crazy. It's crazy. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in here, and so both my wife and I enjoy this a lot. And Harley, I don't know if you can't see this, so you're just calling in. You're not able to see it, but you can ask Nora. So you've got an ad in here, Harley. Did you know that?
Yeah, Elaine told me last night. Anita's gonna drop me one off
Okay,
next day
fine.
or so.
Okay, so yeah, so here's Harley's ad in this, and it's going out. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of these things that are going out, and it's like it's pretty cool. So there's a lot of ways to leverage things. Anyways, getting back to prioritization. So the secret about time. The secret about time. Do any of you know how many minutes you have in a day?
Thousands, but not the exact number, Mark. It's been a
You
minute.
want to know the exact number. So
Yeah.
it's 1,440 minutes in a day, and there's 10,080 minutes in a week. We all have an abundance of time, massive amounts of time. So if we think we don't have time, the reason we think we don't have time is how we think, and we're not good stewards of our time. So there's a 30-day challenge. So, Nora's 3-year-old son she was going through the 3-day challenge. Oh, this is my 3-year-old granddaughter, Elena. She went through the 30-day challenge. Like she's a tigress. Holy cow. Is she on fire? She went through the 30-day challenge. And so Lincoln, Nora's son, so that's me there. He's like, he's like, that's not Mark.
Just a younger version of Mark.
I don't think I've aged a bit. But then when he heard the voice, he's like, oh, that is Mark. So Life Masteries approached me just a few years ago and said, hey, Mark, we hear a rumor that you've got, a bunch of different businesses and you got a bunch of free time. And I said, yeah, I do. And they said, what's your secret? And I told them, and they said, can you put together a series of videos on that? And I said, sure. So I put together 10 videos on the secret about time. So the first one is the 3-for-1 principle. And I got this when I started working with Tom. Like Tom changed my whole life forever. And I had to go to another dimension of thinking. And so the second is the Mach 1 principle. The third is life vision. The fourth is the 5-time management freedom fighters. The fifth is the 5 H's to success. The sixth day is this 7 T's to stewardship. Day 7 is next dimension. Day 8 is the 80-20. Day 9 is the 530 grid. Day 10 is personality masteries. So what you do is you do a 30-day challenge, and it's 10 minutes a day. The average video is 6 minutes long. And then you have 4 minutes to manage up and out to other people. So the First 10 days you go through and you add three, you manage up and out to 3 people or more. They don't have to be going through it, but if you're going through with a buddy, that's a lot better, or 2. 11 through 20, you go through it a second time, and then you go ahead and have 12 people or more and get 2 other people to join you on your journey. Day 21 through 30 is you have 24 people or more, and you get your 2 buddies to each have 2 buddies. And so the number one challenge in business, you ask business people what's your biggest challenge? 33% of the people will say something specifically about time. And their issue is not time. Their issue is how they think about time. So in prioritization, I'm in a season of life now where I do, I keep an eye. I don't have to make money, but I don't want to lose money. I don't want to lose it. That's not good. And so what you're looking for in the season of life you guys are in is you want to exchange time for more time and more money. So a business owner will look at time and money differently. And so they look at money where you invest $10,000 and you get 10,000 plus something back. And that's what you have to do in business to be a successful business person. But in time, business owners, what they do is they invest 10 hours and they expect money. When you exchange time for money, you always, and I mean always run out of time. So what I did is I learned 20 years ago, Mark, that you're thinking about time all wrong. When you invest 10 hours, you got to get 30 hours back. So people that don't participate in this, it's because they don't think they have enough time. They don't see what Amy sees. They don't see what Nora sees. Harley probably will show up every week because that's the kind of guy he is. And so this doesn't cost me 30 minutes. I gain time so my whole way of thinking about time, this is how you own 9 companies and have an extra 20 to 30 hours plus time a week. It's because of how, and we could actually do this. There's another 7 to 10 videos where it's part 2. Getting an extra 20 or 30 hours of free time a week is not hard. That's not hard at all. What's hard is keeping it because of the caught in the middle principle. So Harley, what you're looking at doing is prioritization. Is everything you're doing with time, it's about leverage. And so what am I going to invest time in today that gives money back and time back? I need time and money. And so that's what you're looking at. Does that make sense, Harley?
It does, yes.
Yeah. And so participating in this, Harley also participates in the, the live coffee connection, the first Saturday of every month in Shipshewana, Indiana, Northern Indiana. You're all invited to participate, and you can start your own coffee connection locally. And then who knows, maybe Nora and I'll fly out, sit in on your coffee connection as guests. Nora, what would you like to accomplish today?
Okay, so if you have something that you're not super strong at, but obviously you're not going to learn if you don't do it either, how do you determine whether to go ahead and do it, or if you give it to someone else that is stronger, that has a better chance at, getting the sale, or how do you determine when to just do it and maybe lose the sale or give it to somebody else?
Yeah, great question. I use fuzzy logic. So left side brain is linear. So you think linear. So you're a double analytic. So you're going to naturally go to the left side of the brain and think linear. And that's not wrong. It's good. But you're a woman, so that's even better because you have intuition. Your double analytics sometimes will override your intuition. That's not good. But sometimes your intuition will override your double analytic. That's not good either. So the left side of the brain has power and the right side of the brain has power. They both have strengths and weaknesses. So you're very unusual to be a double analytic and be a woman. There's not a lot of double analytics out there, and there's even less double analytic women out there. So what you do is, the first thing you do is your intuition. Lead with intuition. What's your gut feel? And that's hard for you. Just lock your double analytic into a closet for just a couple minutes. Doesn't have to be long. Intuition, what should you do? So there's what's happened in the past in your life. How do I know this? Because it just happens in everybody's life. If you're an analytic like me or a double analytic like you, it just happens to us where we go ahead and we've done intuition and it's got us into a lot of trouble. So what we do is we trust the left side of the brain, the analytic side, the linear side, rather the intuitive side. You want to use both of them together. And women have an easier time doing that, generally speaking, than men. And so you have the short term and then you have the long term. And if you don't get through the short term, there is no long term. So you do intuitive. What should I do? Just what's your reflex? What should I do in this situation? Should I do it myself or give it to somebody else? Like dish it to somebody else or have somebody else do it. And so you just, what's my intuition say? And you get that locked in. And then you go ahead and look at your left side, the linear side, and you say, what makes sense to do? So here we have, I don't know if you guys have a piece of paper. Okay. So here we have a piece of paper. So what I do is I go ahead, this is a fun exercise. You roll the piece of paper up so it's in a looking glass. Okay. So you go ahead. I can see you all. All right. So it's a game. Now I've got this piece of paper. This is you and I. Now, if we go ahead, what happens when we've just let it go? Okay, so how do we get this piece of paper flat again?
Roll it up the opposite way.
That's one of the ways. You could use weight, you could use water, you could use heat, you could use pressure. That's life. But you roll it up the opposite way. So you roll it up the opposite way, and that's how you do it. You can't just flatten it out. So people will say to me when I'm doing the personality assessment, and I'll give them the assessment of their personality, and especially the deep analytics. I'll say one of your greatest strengths might be like dot your I's, cross your T's, make sure things are done properly in order. One of your weaknesses is the same. You might, overanalyze things. And it's always interesting to me. They say, well, I used to be like that. I don't know what to say. Like, no, you'll always be like that. Maybe you're less than you were, but still not what you need to be to break through to the next dimension that you're in. And so what you do is sometimes you go the opposite extreme. You do the opposite of what you think you should do.
Okay.
And that's really hard. And what you often find out, and you want to be wrong. So you want to be wrong because we're wrong and we don't know it. When we're wrong and we know it, then we can learn and grow. You almost want to compete against yourself. You almost want to get into an argument with yourself, a battle with yourself, because then if you get into an argument with yourself, you'll always lose and you'll always win. But you want to be harder on yourself than anybody else is. And so in the delegation, if you want to, Nora, you can push me hard. I mean, there's a few things on my plate now, but hey, I got an extra 20, 30 hours of free time. I'm good. So on the delegation, I need to write something on delegation based on personalities and other types of things. So I need to do that. So if all of you want to push that, just pressure me, just text me or email me, or call me and just say, hey, Mark, how you doing on that delegate? I love pressure. I love being pushed to do things. Does that help, Nora?
Yeah. Yep.
And then if you are going to have somebody else do it, because you're like, hey, I want to help the person. I don't know that I can, or I want to sell the person. I don't know if I can. If you have somebody else do it, it's okay. You just study them. You study them like you watch what's their voice, what's their intonation, how do they take things and move things, like how do they do what they do, and then you go after you've seen them do it. Then you do a debrief on them. You say, hey, this is what I saw. This is what I saw you did. And on the Top Gun, even this morning when we were working on Kenny's scripting, and he was saying his scripting, and I said, "Oh, don't use that word. Take that word out. Use this word. Okay, add this word here. Position it there." That's what Top Gun is about. Top Gun is so advanced in its sales, it's absolutely frightening. As a matter of fact, Nora, if you can get over to Amy, the Top Gun from today, I think she would enjoy that. I'm getting tingles all over. Like, I think she would enjoy that a lot. Anybody else have anything else? Now, you guys, there's going to be a core. I don't know of. Typically, I can handle in 30 minutes 7 people. Don't be afraid to invite people. There's going to probably be 7 core people. These are the most committed to the team, to this podcast. And there might be hundreds or thousands of people that join the podcast, but the 7 are going to be the ones that are most committed. They're most committed to the team. They get the most benefit from the team. And so you guys can invite other people. They just sit and listen in because it's always fascinating. And with Harley here, it's going to be even more fascinating. Like, you get a core group of people that are going to show up every single week, and it's crazy. And people want to listen to that. They do, because they feel the energy and the excitement and the enthusiasm. If you're listening to the broadcast of this, if you haven't done your 3-minute, you definitely want to do that. If you have any questions, connect with the individual who invited you to participate in today's session, or you can call toll free 888-230-2300. Outside the U.S., 630-393-9909. Always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.